Nigel, West Bromwich Albion on Boxing Day. Are there some specific things you could perhaps share that we need to work on to get that positive result?
More than anything, we've got to continue with I think our performance levels have been pretty good. We've unfortunately continued to make errors which are costing us, it's frustrating for everybody. And what we can't do as a squad, we can't afford to have anybody drop in their levels, whether that be in games or in training. So that's really important for us that we go into the Christmas period and then the new year with the availability being as high as possible and the competition within the squad to be as high as possible. So, those things are the most important thing. In terms of how we prepare for West Brom in particular, they're a side now who are starting to achieve the levels that their squad warrants. They've had a very mixed season so far. But with the new manager, he's certainly injected some aggression, tempo, and a methodology which has got them playing towards their maximum. So it'll be a tough game, but it's a really good one for us to go into and find our top levels as well. That's really what it's about. And Boxing Day games are always, whether people are erring towards winter breaks or not these days, Boxing Day fixtures are always ones that fan bases look forward to, and hopefully we can reward our fans with not just a good performance but 3 points, and that's what we're looking for, because I think we're about in the same position we were last year in terms of points after this game. It might be identical, I don't know. So in some ways progression feels slow, but we are getting to grips with our overall situation, and that is, with whether people want to hear it or not, whether the financial fair play situation. I think we are very, very confident now that we will meet the criteria. So there's been a lot of hard work going behind the scenes to continue to bring the wage bill down, but still produce a side which gives optimism looking forward. And I think we've had breakthroughs from a number of our youngsters again this year, which is very encouraging. What we need to do now is, if we can strengthen in January, I think it would be a boost for everybody. But we can only do it. We can only do it if the circumstances are right. So, for us as coaching staff, it's about remaining patient. It's working very hard with the players that we do have, because to a large extent we're doing okay. But like I say, we need everybody flat out, and that's how it's got to be.
How patient do you have to be as coaches? Because, as you say, you've got a smallish squad. Availability is not bad, and you're bringing young players through. So you're greatly experienced yourself and the other coaches. How patient do you have to be with this group?
Yeah, it can be very, very tough. And I, like anybody else, will show emotion with disappointment. The bottom line is that the players that we have to deliver, and that's the bottom line. And so whichever side is selected for the game at West Brom, it's really important that the players who start make sure that their selection warrants them being there. And likewise, the ones who are on the bench or even aren't selected, they have an obligation to support their teammates too. So it's very, very important. It's very important that we maintain high standards, and that's not just on the pitch, that's off it.
Back in October, that game against West Brom, 2-0.
Yeah.
You made changes for that game, and there was a great collective team spirit
Yes.
for that one. Now you talked about, obviously, Carlos has come in and they've won the last 5.
Yeah.
From that particular game, regardless of the opponents, can you draw some positives from that?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Look, the players are very aware of where our strengths are. Sometimes it's about simplifying what we do, and certainly, you know, we are working every day on what we're going to be doing for the game against West Brom, and you know, I'm a big believer in it's not just about stopping them from playing. We're at our best when we're on the front foot and being positive. You know, the game at Rotherham was a really good example of us being on the front foot, keeping things simple, and it was a good result because of that. How we didn't win the game against Stoke still remains a big frustration, and we've had a few games like that recently. You know, the Sheffield United game, the Watford game, where we're really very much on top, and you know, our points gained from those games is very frustrating. So, look, we can't do anything about those that have gone now. So it's about looking forward. It's about making sure that we are ready for the game, and that we create the right atmosphere. That's what we have to do.
Is there any squad update? Thomas Callas, could he be available for Christmas, New Year period at all?
Probably New Year. I mean, he's doing much better now, and you know, to be fair to Tom, he's had some real setbacks in terms of the initial injury, which was a complication with his knee, which has been sorted out, but on his recovery he's picked up other things on the way which had been a frustration for him. But hopefully all those, you know, the added time that he will have had off will benefit him, so that when he comes back, that's it, he stays back. And that's what we want for him, because it's been a frustrating season for him, and we know what we get from Tom too. You know, and he's a very committed player. So it would be good to have him back. But any temptation to sort of push him now probably won't be a good idea. So it's really important that this final bit of rehab that he goes through, he gets it right, as well as, you know, we as staff.
3 games in 7 days over
Yeah.
Christmas New Year period. In terms of the management of the players, and obviously you talked about availability, you talked about needing, you know, everyone to be operating at, you know, the best that they can be. Are you comfortable with how the squad is in terms of their fitness and their durability?
Fitness-wise, we're pretty good. Yeah, I think, you know, when we've come up against sides recently, you know, sides like Rotherham, sides like Stoke, their physical numbers, you know, the stats are very, very good. Sheffield United the same. We've matched those teams. So I think that's something which, when we cast our minds back to last year and before, the squad's come an awful long way in terms of their ability to play high intensity football. And I think that's something which, again, youth helps with that. Our academy continues to produce really good players for us, but good athletes too. And I think that's something which can't be underestimated. I think when you have a link with a positive link with the academy, it's really important that for them as well, they know what they're trying to produce. And I think now there is genuine excitement within the club that, you know, one of the owners, if you like, wishes or they really are very, very keen on homegrown players, and always have been. And I think that's something that's very commendable. But in practice, to produce that, it's tough. But I tell you what, we're doing a decent job with that as a club. I think Brian and his staff do an excellent job, and I think our fans hopefully are proud of what the club is trying to achieve. You know, the problem at the minute is that we're just not winning enough games in the first team, but we are, you know, we are still moving in the right direction. And so the frustrations are there for everybody. I understand that, but we have to, for the bigger picture and the long-term future, we have to remain as disciplined as possible in terms of staying on the right path. And you know, we'll continue to work hard to do that.
Merry Christmas, Nigel.
Merry Christmas to everybody out there too.